I want to take you live to Calgary now, where the RCMP are giving an update on security measures for the upcoming G7 meeting in Alberta. Let's listen in.
And take your questions. I hope you'll understand that some information needs to be kept close to our chests in order to keep our operations secure from those who may wish to do us harm or disrupt the summit. I would like to begin by explaining what the Integrated Safety and Security Group, or ISSG, is and how the RCMP fits into this structure. The RCMP is mandated with the safety and security of the G7. That means it is our responsibility to protect the internationally protected persons, or IPPs, so essentially the world leaders attending the summit. We're also responsible for safeguarding of the event itself, which means we want to keep everyone safe and secure, those people attending and working at the summit, as well as the local communities. The RCMP is leading the Integrated Safety and Security Group, or ISSG, to coordinate all the planning and operational efforts. Our team brings together members of the RCMP and our partner agencies, which include the Calgary Police Service, the Alberta Sheriff's Branch, Alberta Conservation Officers, and the Canadian Forces. And I'm pleased to welcome them to today's session. Together, we have been working to deliver a comprehensive and integrated security strategy for the G7 summit, and we're ready to deliver on that mission. As the event security director for the summit, I've mandated my team to balance what is needed to keep everyone safe while minimizing impacts as much as we can on local communities, businesses, and residents. To begin, I'd like to demonstrate the scope of our operations. You can see on here, up on the slide, the safety and security team is focused on 3 key areas: Kananaskis, Banff, and the city of Calgary. Kananaskis Village will be the epicenter of the G7 Summit event and will be hosting the world leaders and their delegations. To ensure the safety and security of all participants, residents, and businesses within the community, we have established a controlled access zone, or CAZ, in the area around Kananaskis Village. This zone will be in effect between June 10th and 18th, 2025. Access to this zone will be restricted only to authorized personnel, residents, and businesses through an accreditation process. Accreditation is managed by the Global Affairs Canada Summit Management Office. Over the last few months, we have been in conversation with local businesses and residents impacted by the controlled access zone to help them understand those restrictions and work with them on impacts to their daily lives. And I'd like to publicly thank them today for their ongoing support and their patience. As you can see on the map, there are also trails in the area that will be affected by this controlled access zone. Some trailheads will be closed while others will remain open, but only up into the CAZ boundary. And I would invite you to consult our website or the albertaparks.ca for a complete and up-to-date list of which trails will be affected. In addition to the land restrictions, we will also be establishing temporary airspace restrictions over the event area during the summit. We'll be implementing a NOTAM, or a Notice to Airmen, of temporary air restrictions over both Calgary and Kananaskis between June 14th at 6 a.m. to June 17th at 11:59 p.m. local time. The zone over Kananaskis Village has a radius of 30 nautical miles, and the second zone is centered on Calgary International Airport with a radius of 20 nautical miles and impacts the Springbank Airport. This restriction is expected to be in effect from June 14th to 17th. The restricted airspace will allow for security operations and essential services for authorized aircraft only. There will be no unauthorized flights in the area on these dates, and this includes the use of drones. The RCMP, in coordination with its G7 Summit aviation partners, which include Transport Canada, the Canadian Armed Forces, and NAV Canada, will work together to ensure the safe management of air traffic to and from the summit area. And as we're doing on land, arrangements have been made to ensure that emergency services such as Alberta Wildfire, Air Ambulance, Mountain Rescue are able to operate their aircraft within the airspace restrictions. In Banff, there will be 2 locations that will be used for G7 Summit operations. One location will be the Banff Centre for Arts and Creativity, where the G7 International Media Centre will be established. Only authorized personnel and media will be allowed into this media center. The second location is the G7 Designated Demonstration Zone, which will be located at Fenlands Banff Recreation Centre at 100 Norquay Road, and it will be operational on June 16th and 17th. This G7 Designated Demonstration Zone was established in consultation with the Summit Management Office, Parks Canada, and local municipal partners. The ISSG will be working closely with law enforcement partners to actively manage traffic in this area to ensure minimal disruption to local businesses and tourists. This includes ensuring that the flow of traffic is facilitated along all routes around the area. To further enhance safety for residents, tourists, and demonstrators, the ISSG, in collaboration with the Calgary Police Service, has also established 2 additional G7 designated demonstration zones in the city of Calgary. These designated demonstration zones will be operational June 13th to 17th. While my colleague, Superintendent Brar, will provide further details on security measures in the city of Calgary, I want to highlight that these 3 G7 designated demonstration zones will have live audio and video feeds, which will be broadcast to G7 leaders and delegations at the site of the summit in Kananaskis. I know that the public and yourselves, the media, have questions about potential protests during the summit. We expect that the G7 will attract people looking for an opportunity to express themselves on a range of related issues. Lawful protests are, of course, protected by the Charter of Rights and Freedom. And the ISSG's approach is to respect the right to peaceful and lawful demonstration while ensuring the safety and security of residents and businesses. In Canada, the policing of protest is driven by behavior, not by belief. This means that we focus on how people act at protests versus the message they are delivering or the cause that they are raising awareness about. Our focus is ensuring people are able to express themselves in a manner that is both lawful and safe. Establishing G7 designated demonstration zones is a proactive and standard practice for international events, helping ensure demonstrations can take place in a safe, respectful, and well-managed environment. Signage will be installed to help guide visitors and residents. In addition, outreach and social media will clarify protest expectations and address concerns in advance. Please be assured that the RCMP and our partners are experienced in safely facilitating demonstrations during large-scale events. Later today, you will have an opportunity to see some of our security equipment and personnel on display in parking lot 12. This will include tactical units and protective gear. And I want to emphasize that these tools are reserved for worst-case scenarios and would only be deployed after other available options have been exhausted. The RCMP responds to approximately 3 million calls for service each year, and in 2023, police intervention occurred in only 0.1% of these incidents, meaning 99.9% are resolved through communication and de-escalation, and the equipment and units you'll see today aren't used. Communication will always be the preferred approach when tactically feasible and safe for both the public and the police. Our members are trained to stay calm, provide clear direction, and assess risk in real time. And use of force is a last resort, and it is only applied when absolutely necessary. And our actions are based on an evolving assessment of the situation. Before I pass it over to my colleagues, I want to reassure you that every security measure that we have put in place is intended to keep people safe. Our security posture is based on a continuous assessment of threat and risk. Situational awareness is something we all contribute to, and it is a collective effort.
And you're listening to RCMP officials giving us an update on the G7 summit that is taking place between June 15th and 17th in Kananaskis, Alberta. And I want to bring in Mark Carcassole, who is also listening in. So Every 7 years, Canada hosts, and here we go. It's just a couple weeks away.
Yeah, Andrew, and as always, as every 7 years, there are very strict, very heavy security measures in place. A designated demonstration zone, which is not a new concept, certainly. That's something that has been done at various G7s and G20s around the world. 3 in this case. There will be one in Kananaskis village, where it seems to be the bulk of the meeting will be done, the epicenter, as security officials called it. There will be 2 more in Calgary, too, with live audio and video feeds able to be seen during the conference by leaders, which is an interesting take. One thing that has really drawn a lot of interest, though, over the past couple days is the restricted airspace around the meeting. The radius around Kananaskis village will be 30 nautical miles, or 56 kilometers, 20 nautical miles at the airport, or 37 kilometers. No unauthorized flights, no drones. And what security officials did say earlier this week, David Hall, the chief superintendent of the Integrated Safety and Security Group, didn't mention it here, but it was mentioned by security officials previously that if unauthorized aircraft or drones do fly into the area, it is a last resort, yes, but they do say that they will be met with RCMP or Canadian Forces aircraft, and they could be shot down as a last resort. So very strict warning there. When it comes to those demonstrations, they're hoping obviously that those in attendance, and there are always demonstrators from all over the world that show up at these functions, will keep it lawful and peaceful. They say they will respect lawful and peaceful demonstrations, and there will be no need for any further action if it stays within the demonstration zone. We do know that at times they go beyond the demonstration zone, too. We saw it right here in Toronto one time many years ago. So the meeting is set for June 15th to June 17th. Many of these restrictions discussed, including the air restrictions and the stuff on the ground, begin the day before on June 14th and go basically right to the end of the final day, June 17th.
All right, Mark, thank you.